Hello and welcome in. Yeah, I always get something wrong, don't I, at the beginning? Just let's see who we've got in. We've got Neo in, Adventures. Let's get the names up, like always. We've got Icy Diamond in, Epic Gaming. Who else? Tim, the Pigeon Whisperer. Adrian's in, cool. Mark Urbex, excellent, nice to see you, bro. Oh, Mr. Vault's in as well, excellent. We've got Ash, cool. Yeah, we've said Tim. David Drone Adventures, excellent, mate. Nice to see you in. We've got well-known unknown in. Dizzy, cool. Anyone else? Yep, excellent. Oh, just got a message coming through. One sec. Right, yep. Loopaloo's in as well. Excellent. Dinkin, sorry. Yep. Excellent. Loads of people jumping in. Excellent. Nice to see you, everyone. Cool. Hearts 300 or 3000. Nice one. We've got Barry there. Cool. Anyone else want to leave a comment and I'll get the names up when they come on. In the meantime, I'll introduce our first guest. He doesn't need much introduction. Basically, it's Mr. Vault.
Hello.
Hello. How's it going, mate?
Very good, very good. And I would like to welcome all those people who are happy to be here and some of those who are not very happy at this moment, knowing that I've come on, who decided to tell me that they didn't like me and they didn't really want to hang around anymore because I was going to be on another channel. So I'm really sorry if I'm ruining your evening right now. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Sorry, drama again. No, they told me that they unsubscribed from me ages ago and they didn't like me, and I was rubbish, and it was like, oh, so they wanted to hang around with this person who's got like about 25 subscribers. I'm like, oh, go for it then. Yeah, all right. And they said I was bullying them. Yeah, bullying them. Like, yeah. Wait and see what happens down the line. That's all I'm going to say. I think you're slightly misinformed about that person.
Yeah, there's a few things coming up soon, isn't there, I believe, down at your end. What's happening?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I've had, put it like this, I've had the police here 3 times this week, and this morning was taking evidence away to do with that person. So, yeah.
Can I just say hello to Burgess Guided Tours? Got his name right this week.
Bucharest.
Nearly got his name right, nearly.
Yeah, Burgess, that's a place, isn't it? Down in Burgess-on-Sea.
Yeah, it's over between the R and the E's over near them countries, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I can't even see that person because I blocked them because of what they said. I blocked them, so I can't even see them in your chat. They're there. I can't see them. Even though I'm a moderator, I can't see them.
Yeah, no worries. You seen that video I sent you, didn't you? We got Urbex in as well about the tunnels in. But where's it? Birchie, yeah, the guided tour place.
Bucharest, yeah.
Bucharest, yeah.
Yeah.
For people who don't know, I am dyslexic, so yeah, I've sometimes problems reading words, but it doesn't get me down. Oh, we've missed someone there, Thomas. Cool, excellent, nice to see you in. Yeah, it's a bit crazy, all them people living down there and like having a ruler and a king and that. Yeah.
What?
Them tunnels. You said there was any tunnels in Bucharest.
Oh, Bucharest. Yeah, I thought you meant me. Then I was like, what? Ruler and Kings? No, Bucharest. Yeah. I was watching something on it. Did you watch anything after he said it? Because I went and had a look at some videos on it. It's pretty.
Yeah, I sent you a link to one.
Kids coming up out of a manhole cover and just like people just popping up all the time, just in the street, just like hello, just go for a wander around, go and get some food, go back down, as you do.
Yeah. It was a bit crazy, isn't it? I post the link in for you, Jackie. Jackie's asking for the link.
Mm.
Who else just popped in? Andrew.
Yeah. Andrew. What? Which one?
Yeah, he says he's going to send you your full one. You said you'll check it out last week.
Oh, right. Okay. Yes, I did. Yeah. It's an interesting place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very interesting. It would be nice to go down there, but it wouldn't be nice as well because from the street level, as soon as you look down, you can see people with problems, junkies and stuff doing what they do, and
Yeah.
it's crazy. And it was watching like the video itself, and basically, the interviewer was like this to the kids, like, you're scared of going down there, and they said, no, basically you can tell that we're homeless and we're just there for shelter, and that's how everyone gets on. But if a face comes down that no one recognises, there will be quite a bit of trouble and stuff like that. Not recommended.
Yeah. And the kid was saying as well that he didn't know his parents. He just didn't know his family, so he'd been adopted by the people underground, and that's the only family he knew.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like that film
Mm.
where he said it was like Demolition Man, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very much like that.
Mm. Yeah. Hello, Dinka Mozzie.
Hey, I'll
Yeah,
see
he's
if I
saying
can.
it's a safe city with strict laws, but it's a shame they do live there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see what I can do, Jackie. Asking for the link, see if I can send it.
Oh, do you need the link sent in the thing?
Yeah, can you send it to Jackie? You got it?
Oh, well, I just put it in the chat now because you did post it publicly earlier, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Got Greg in as well. Cool. Nice to see you in, mate. Yeah, she knows how to do it. If not, if she doesn't pop up in a minute, I'll send it to
Mm. Yeah, I've spent most of today actually and part of yesterday writing up letters about legal things to different law firms. I can't say what's in them. Different law firms, to the police, to the courts, giving them full awareness of what's been going on, so they're now fully appraised of it. But it takes a lot of time and effort, so I'm just bored of dealing with that instead of doing video editing. But I've had to sort of literally say like no video editing now because I've been putting it off and putting it off and putting it off because I prefer doing the video editing. And I've just been like, oh no, but it had to be done. So I've been dealing with things today. So yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. Nice to see you in, mate. Leaving a comment and stuff, yeah. Talking about the tunnels again. Did Dave? Cool. There's a few new faces in as well, I've noticed. Excellent. Just trying to send this link to Jackie now. No, it's not working this for some reason. Can't do it. Yeah, I'm trying to get a video out for this Sunday, but last Sunday, but I was running a bit late behind time, and basically the one that was going to be released on Sunday, didn't get around to doing it. So basically, I went to the Smithfield Market, a market near us, and each time we've gone there, I've noticed like loads of abandoned offices above the market stores. It's because it's like an indoor market.
Mm.
And basically,
Sorry.
I thought, why not try and film the office? No, see if we can get in. There was like some stairs going up, and there was a door, and obviously I didn't know whether that door was open or not. But on Sunday, I went down there to have a look on the market, and the door was open. I could see it open, so I just went up the stairs and had a walk. Was a little bit disappointed. I thought they would actually go from one end of the block all the way through to the other, but like you can see if you watch the video itself, they don't all go together. So couldn't really get into much of the other spaces. But apparently there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 office blocks, and there's like a number of offices in there, and like I say, they're not all connected either. So it's quite a big place. So yeah, that's what I done Sunday, knocked that one out. And hopefully this Sunday I'll get the other one out, the Eva brothers that I was saying last week. Colonel is in the house.
Hello, Colonel.
Lionheart. Cool.
I saw Colonel's sticker appear in a Kaylee Colston video where they went to Penhow Camp and they got caught quite quickly after going in there as well. It was a bit weird because it was like this abandoned army camp. I mean, it's wrecked. And then like a bloody big coach drives down the road. It's a one-way road to a cliff and off the edge. And this big bloody coach drives up and down there. I was like, well, where's that coming from? It's a bit weird. I'm sure there's a good explanation for it. But yeah, Kerno, do you know what that coach was? And by the way, your sticker's in the Kaylee Colston video from Penhow Camp. Not Penhow, Penhale. Sorry. Yeah, get mixed up with a place in South Wales then called Penhow. Good location, by the way. If anybody hasn't done it, it's going to get bulldozed before long. So, you know, it's like about 60 buildings to go and have a look at, all spread out. Huge.
So are the old tours there or something? Isn't that why the coach is there? Or don't you know?
I have no idea. Idea. They didn't, I don't think Kaylee and they didn't encounter anybody there. So I don't know, unless maybe the coach dropped people off closer to the cliff edge. Maybe there's a way to get down to a beach or something. And maybe, you know, to save them a walk, they got up there, but they would have had to have keys, you know, like to kind of let them in and take them up there. So I really don't know. He said he thinks it's the developers.
Yeah,
50 people on that coach. It'd be bloody, you know, 50-seater coach. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, a pickup truck pulled up and they had a word with the guy in the pickup and said, "Oh, he weren't really bothered."
No, you could see they weren't the sort of loonies who've been there trying to set it on fire and graffitiing and all that. But I mean, at this point in time, you know, that place is so badly wrecked. I think the only thing they should do is stop people going in the house. But since I went there, you will notice since my video again, it always seems to be since my video something's happened. Right, well, if you go up to the main house there's now a big sign saying bats roosting. Now, I didn't see no bats in that house. However, I did see a couple of bats when I was walking around. There's a few flew past me in buildings. So, yeah. Maybe somebody watched my video and now they've stuck signs up now saying, "Oh, you can't go in this place because of bats." Oh, bloody hell. There's bats everywhere.
Yeah. Someone's asking you a question there. Do you enjoy your bus tour of London?
It was okay. It's one of those sorts of things when you're filming, you don't always enjoy things as much as you would if you were just watching, you know, just taking part. But it was okay. It was all right. Yeah, I realized that my 4K camera is absolute crap when you hand hold it. It's just like, it's horrible. So I'm going to put it on when I get round to drilling it out. I'm going to put it on this handle. So it swings down and it'll keep it stable, because when you got it in your hand and it's just like,
yeah, horrible. Too much vibrations.
Yeah, so having a handle and having it swinging is better, I think. That's the way IKS. That's the way he has his camera. He holds it on like a handle,
little rig sort of thing.
And his stuff is particularly stable, even though it hasn't got a stabilizer on his camera. I've seen his camera. He's got a little screen. He's put a little screen, a handle, and then a little action camera on the front. So it's all linked up. And so he's literally walking around with this screen, you know, so you can see the screen. But he never shows his setup. He's like, when the others filming him and stuff, it never sees the setup. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Jackie's getting ready to come on by the looks of it.
Cool. Yeah.
When you have it in like a little rig like that, the gravity keeps it more stable, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's hard to put your mind over it. Just putting it like handle on top of it and let it dangle. Sounds like it'd be more shaky, but yeah, the gravity sorts it all out. It's quite
Yeah.
interesting. You'd
I
think it'd be
mean,
the opposite.
like having it like that, I mean, your hand is basically constantly sort of doing that and twitching and you know, it's really quite bad. But I mean, yeah, just putting that handle on it, I'll try it now because I don't think it can fit on this because it's too short, this piece of metal. If I screw it on, like that, yeah, just having it like that means it's always going to keep that more steady. It's not going to be sort of like twitch, 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 twitch. You know, it's just always going to be kind of more, you know, more steady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Twitch.
Oh, that sounds like Jackie because we've got an echo. I can psychopathically tell that Jackie's there because we got an echo. Oh, I can hear myself.
Hello, Jackie. Welcome in.
Hello, Jackie. How you doing, JC's cats and things? You know, you've shortened your name, which is good because now we can actually read a comment where we can read the comment off the end instead of going off and we can't read it. Yeah. She's saying nothing because she's probably going to go like, piss off you, normally. But for some reason, she's abstaining. Perhaps her voice, she's kind of frozen.
She might have muted herself.
Yeah, I know.
Oh. Going a couple of frames a second there, me dear.
Yeah, it's not the best quality, is it? So how are you, Jackie?
Get a wire. Get a wire. Somebody else streaming in the house probably is like, oi, stop whatever you're doing. I'm on the internet. Right.
Yeah. Aye. So you got anything planned when you go to release that video you sent us to check over for you? Because that's a good one.
Yeah, I that's going to be a bunker one coming out fairly soon, and I've got pretty much exclusive. There was a television company that got in there before me, but I've been trying with this particular person to let me in for, you know, near on 2 years, and I was quite like shocked when I saw that a TV company was coming up with like, oh, we've been in the bunker. So I said, well, hang on, you've always said to me no, 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 and now a TV company's gone in. And she went, oh well, yeah, but they had insurance. And I said, oh, you never said that. If you want insurance, I'll go and get insurance. So I got insurance, cost me £100. So yeah, it was an expensive day out. That was petrol. Give us some money and the insurance going to be about £180 to see this bunker. So I hope people enjoy it. It is a good one.
Yeah, like you say, it's an exclusive, really.
Yeah, because not a lot of, I mean, anyone could probably go down there, but they do have to show they've got the insurance because she doesn't want any comeback if there's anybody gets injured, which is fair enough.
You can understand that, can't you?
Yeah. Yeah, because it's all well and good we go down there and say, oh no, we won't sue you. And then if something goes wrong, some people might try to sue the owner, you know. So yeah, the insurance is essential. But yeah, so I think we got a pretty exclusive one there, but it was nice because I got to do an explore on my own for a change, and I knew nobody was going to be coming in, you know, so it's nice not like having to look over your back, and it gave me a really good sort of time to kind of do it. Yeah, I did it in 3D 360 and with a normal camera, and I just took my time. Yeah, I think I was in there for about 3.5 hours
all together. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I went and did the filming of the island because I filmed with the drone around the area. Then I realized I didn't have the bits of footage I needed, which were like just coming up and on the bunker. So I had to go back down on another day, and I thought, well, why don't I charge up all the batteries and see how much of this island I can get? Because it's the island of Portland. It is Portland Bill, and down there. And I flew the whole island all the way around. So I flew every part of the island. I don't think I missed anything really. So yeah.
Yeah, we're missing some questions here.
Where is Jordan? I don't know. I'll send him a message now. Find out where he is. Yeah, I'm gonna guess though. I'm gonna guess in a bar drinking. Let's find out.
Yeah, he's young, isn't he?
Yeah. Shall I invite him on? Do you want to have a B face on you? Is he
He's
gonna
welcome.
some people say like, oh, it does my head in. Yeah, on live stream with Urban Legend UK. Oops, Urban Kegend Legend UK. Yeah, I'll say, where are you? Where are you?
There's a question there. How long have we been doing urbex, and what's your favourite place? I've been doing it, well, since I can remember as a kid, really. And only started recording it in the last 2 years now. I've been going. Yeah. And my favourite place, it's hard to say because you go to so many different ones, and certain ones stand out for certain reasons, and you think that's the best one for that, and this is the best one for that, and yeah, it's hard to say which one's the best location. Know what I mean? What would you say? Would you agree with that? Or
Yeah, I mean, I've been looking into places since I've been a kid. I mean, I remember we lived like next to a cliff, and you look off the top of it and it's scary as shit, but like I found a way through the barbed wire right up to the edge, and then I was noticing that a lot of roots and trees would kind of were growing out to the ground. So I was like, well, if I go from this one to this one, and I started like getting my way down the cliff, and eventually I found that you could get down the cliff, on roots and trees, and scramble a bit. And so it's like, an almost vertical cliff. I managed to, I was kind of like that. I was always like looking for ways into things, and yeah, love it. But as you said, I didn't start filming them. I used to film things a lot years ago for other people, like rugby matches and things that I wasn't really interested in. But I never thought to myself, well, you need to film these things you're doing, and sort of like somebody might be interested in it, because there was no YouTube. So where the hell would you stick it, And you're thinking, there's no point collecting all this footage for no reason. But I would have shot even more if I'd known YouTube was coming along. It's good. It's a good way to get stuff out there.
Definitely. Yeah, there's a guy there. His wife's been there and exploring. You see the message on the screen.
Portland Bill under prisons with her brother. Knows it quite well, yeah. Well, I've flown all around it. You can't fly over it because of the geofencing for the drone. But I've flown all the way around it and zoomed in, and even walked around the prison up the top as well. Because as long as you're not trying to climb into the prison, you're all right. You can kind of get away with that. So yeah, I had some good fun around there the other day, and I want to go back.
Yeah.
I tell you what, there's a lot of stuff that a lot of people don't know about Portland. It is out there if you know where to look, but there's a lot of stuff. And I just spent hours the other night, and I put all these pins down. And if you want to see it, Will, I'll send you my video. But I basically did a Google Earth fly through, and I went, see this? Look closer. And I went, see, tunnel. Can you see it? I was like, then I went over to another place and said, see this? See that there? Look. And there's tunnels under there, and I'm just basically go like all around saying tunnels. And it's not, to be honest as well, it's stuff that if you looked on Google Maps, you would not know this stuff was there. You've got to look on Google Earth. Otherwise, if you can't tilt it sideways, you can't see these are entranceways, because it's that 3D thing helps you to see the entranceways.
Yeah, that's helped us a few times. When you look on Google Maps or whatever, it just looks like a dark patch. And when you go to, like you say, the 3D aspect of it, you can see it's not a patch, it's a shadow of a tree or something. You know what I mean? And it's not a tunnel and stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah.
So it is better for identifying places, stuff like that. And I've also used it for my intros to my films as well. Some of my films, when I'm saying today we're in like Stockport, then do like a zoom focus on the actual place we're going to. So it actually shows you roughly where we are and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, I've used it quite a lot, and I'm thinking now that when I go to places, I shouldn't necessarily be relying on my pins in Google Maps, because that's the only trouble with Google Earth is it's really good quality and it's fast and you can move around the map and it's like, wow, this is amazing. But you can't really put pins in it and they won't be there when you come back. It's like you can do it at home on a computer, but then they don't translate, they don't sync up, so you can't go in the field and do it. It's, I don't know what Google are thinking. They've got like this really good app, but you can't save pins in it.
Yeah.
And they don't appear anywhere else. It's just bizarre. They got a really weird sort of like mindset to do with this map stuff. I don't know quite what's going on with them, but the way that they've orphaned a lot of pins. A friend of mine's got thousands of pins. He's put in a map, and overnight they just went, "Oh, we're on a new pin system now." And now all your old pins are locked into the old system, and he can't access them, and he can't share them. He can see them on the map, but he can't delete them, access them, share them, do anything with them. They're just there, and it's like, Google, why couldn't you just convert the pins for everybody so they work with the new system? No, because that would make sense. So yeah, they decided not to.
Might be for security reasons, but saying that, you get the coordinates anyway, don't you? So it doesn't really make sense that. Is the prison still open, active?
It is
Yeah.
at the moment, yes, and I believe come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on is in a cell in there at the moment. That's where he lives.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, stick it up your Gary
Yeah.
Glitter. Yeah, that one.
What's
Yeah.
the furthest you travel to and explore? Basically, mine is the Green Fort. That's near Essex, isn't it? Yeah, just off the coast of Essex. And Matt's probably travelled a lot further than that. I know you have. Anyway, you've been up to Scotland and everything.
Well, technically, if you count trips where I've gone abroad specifically to go and look at some crazy shit like Area 51, right? I mean, before it got segmented off, so you had to be like 20 or 30 miles away. I went when you were 20 miles away. So I got the closest you could get before it got sort of pushed back. And so, I mean, things like that. I've actually got footage which I need to edit of going to Area 51. I just haven't found the right moment to sit down and start editing it, really. So
I take it that's quite a few years ago. So what did you record it on?
it's on high 8 or 8mm film, something like that.
And was you up on the mountain? Is it something peak? Something peak?
Tickaboo Peak, yeah.
That's the one, yeah. Tickaboo Peak.
Yeah. Yeah, and opposite it is White Sides, which used to be accessible, and they pushed it back, so then it went to Tickaboo Peak, and now, I mean, it's somewhere else now. That's way, way back.
Take it you didn't just stay there. You spent the night there and maybe a couple of days there.
Milk, actually.
I slept in my in the car, the hired car I was in, which was kind of funny because I was outside Area 51, sleeping in the desert on one of the roadways that leads up to Area 51, and the car didn't have any number plates on it because it was new. So unlike the UK, where you have to have a number plate on it to drive it round, in the United States, you can drive a car with no number plates on it. And then if anyone asks you, well, why haven't you got number plates? You go, oh, because they're coming, and you show them the paperwork. Say, no, they're coming in the post. So how crazy is that? So in the middle of the night, vehicles were pulling up, and I was in my sleeping bag, and I could hear vehicles pulling up, and I could hear footsteps, and people were looking in the window, and then they were like driving away, and then they drive back, and I was like, I know this is the security people from the base, and they're like freaking out, going like, which car is this? We can't trace who this person is. We don't know who it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought it was kind of funny.
Do you see anything in the skies while you're there?
No. But I did see an optical illusion because you have the things, the mirages in the desert, and the desert's so long that when you get the heat, it creates a heat haze. And there was a rock in the distance, and the rock got smudged out, and then it got reflected underneath, so it looked like a saucer. So it's like this bloody great big saucer shape, but it was just a heat haze reflection. So it was like on a lake of, it looked like on a mirrored lake, and in the distance there was just a saucer, which was crazy. I was like, oh, I'm in the right place. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. And how are you, Jackie? Have we got sound? Who are
I'm
working?
all right, thank you. Hey? Oh, I was, what have I been doing? I've rehoused 2 mantises today and sorted out one of my tarantulas. It's been fun.
Fun and games then. At least it keeps you busy.
Yeah. But it's part of having them. And I'm getting another 2 tarantulas tomorrow, so I'll be up to 41 now.
41. Wow.
Yeah, 41 tarantulas.
I got something for your tarantulas. That's one of these.
A shoe.
Size 8.
That's what.
I'm sure he's got bigger feet than size 8. I'm size 8.
No, I'm 11.
11s.
Well,
I'm missing something. What can you possibly think I'm missing?
The dog?
No, she's out there. What?
Watching my last video. That's what it was. You're missing.
Clue.
You know you got to go and check it out later.
Here's the clue. I'll check your video out. Yes. I'll be back in a second, folks. I'm going to go and make sure that is corrected because I can't have that. That's got to be sorted out. So
no, that'll be.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I've got to promote my videos and stuff. So what's the right time? It's the right time, that I think. Yeah.
I've lost a lot of length from my hair because I went and got it cut yesterday, so it's very short now.
Yeah, I've had my chop as well. That was today. So we're all nice and groomed.
Yeah, there's
today.
a difference though. Yours is like short anyway. Mine was all the way down to my backside near enough.
That long, yeah.
Yeah, and I've had it all cut off now because it was all just icky at the ends. I just didn't like it, so it was like we need to sort it out. Wanted to get it sorted out, so it's a lot better now. Just I don't know, it feels weird because usually when it's cold in the winter, got all my hair at the back of me and everything, but it'll be probably by bloody that this time. Well, not this. Yeah, this time next year it'll be all the way bloody back down again.
So how far up is it at the moment? Is it halfway up your back or further up to your shoulders?
Bloody hell, what conversation have I come in on?
No, it's quite.
Did he say halfway
now.
Up your back? Is that what he said? Halfway. You got hairs halfway up your back, or did he say something else?
Yeah.
I thought he said something else then.
No, it's definitely hairs that are talking about up the back.
Back was it? Right, yeah.
About hair, yeah.
Fair enough. Back.
Yeah.
Back, not right.
I had a large amount of it chopped, quite a large amount of it chopped off. So, but it's done now. I don't care. At least it doesn't take 2 bloody boxes of hair dye to do my hair. I'll only take 1 this time.
Well, you have to use 2, yeah.
Bloody if I go all the way through, 2. It's an arse ache. So hopefully it'll be just 1 now. Yeah. I've heard bloody wigs are the most horrible, itchiest things ever. So even if my hair all fell out, I'd be like, I'll be fucked wearing one of them. Frigging putting a wig
Well,
on.
if you
No.
look on the bright side, if your
Wrong.
hair fell out, we could make jokes like with Will Smith. And your boyfriend could
That
come
was
round
just
and
so funny.
come round and slap us.
Yeah, a bit crazy that. When I first seen it, I thought it was like scripted or something. Know what I mean? When I first seen it, and then on the news, of course, they said it wasn't.
It's such the biggest publicity stunt ever.
Yeah, that's what I thought, because it
So they
did look a bit
say.
of a
Bullshit.
action and like it's something out of film. Know what I mean?
I thought that initially, but you know, yeah, it's pretty. I mean, like, fucking hell, Will Smith, like, you know, he's let himself down there. I think he'll either be banned from the academy for it for a period of time, or what they should really do is they should take the award back, because they've been saying like they're anti, you know, rape and, you know, all this Me Too and all this stuff, anti-rape and all the pressure that gets put on people to work in Hollywood, abuse, yeah. And then you've got somebody who just literally goes up and just does a violent piece of abuse on stage in front of the world. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't ask for a more but you know, I mean, I've got to say as well, I think, you know, because Will Smith is black, you know, everyone sort of went, oh, you know, if it had been anybody else, they would have said, hang on a minute, no, you out, you know. And it's like, but oh, it's Will Smith. He's like, he's famous, he's extremely famous, right? And he's black, and everyone's very touchy about saying anything. But I think that's bollocks, because everyone should be treated the same.
Yeah.
You know? But there you go. Positive discrimination, folks.
Like I said, I was watching something about it.
Did it?
And basically, it's shown that he was laughing along with everyone else at the joke, till his wife turned her eyes up and said something or looked at him funny. Then that's what sparked it all off.
Yeah, she I think she must wear the trousers in that house.
Yeah, because other things that came out about us that I didn't even know, and I was like shocked that they're still together. Yeah. But then again, that's their lives, nothing to do with us. But I was a little bit surprised at that.
Hey, Mr. Ray.
Yeah, Ray, how's it going?
Hi, Ray.
Yeah. So that was a bit weird. Didn't expect to see too true, Matt, even in my house. I'm sure what he means there, but okay, even in his house. Different Matt, maybe? I don't know, there's more than one Matt.
Swingers.
Oh, swingers.
Yeah, could be.
That's right, yeah. Are they into swinging and stuff? Yeah.
Oh, we've got an echo again. Yeah, it's been alright now. Hardly no echo off Jackie. Till just now.
Yeah. Light company sent me a light. It was not one I wanted.
Bloody weird.
Yeah, they sent me this light, and I said, look, to be honest, it's a spot, it's a pencil spot, and I don't like pencil spots. And I said, you're better off sending me a flood, because then I can say, look, this is really useful in terms of everyone who watches my channel is going to be wanting floods, you know. They're not really going to be wanting to film with pencil beams, you know. So, and they went, oh, well, we'll send it to you anyway. It's like, oh, they fucking don't listen, do they? And then he's like, and then we send you one of the other ones later. And I'm like, okay. So I've got to give him a review. And the review is, it's not as powerful as this one, but it is very pocketable. So there's my review, basically. That's it's going to be along those lines. Fits in your pocket. Yeah. And it's not as powerful as the other ones I've got as well. But it is a pocket torch, you know.
What brand is that? What firm's that one?
Through Night.
Oh, Through Night.
So it's the same as my big torch I've got, and this new beast I got. This absolute beast. which I have done a review for, but now I'm going to have to do a second review because I haven't even put the review out yet. But I'm going to do a second one now, talking about pencil beams more, you know. So you try this one.
Hello, Mr. John.
Hey, John. You're all eating sweets now. Or is she tapping away?
Can hear something.
So all we can hear is crisp packets. Oh.
No, macaroons.
Macaroons.
Coconut. With dark chocolate on them. Love dark chocolate.
Yeah.
And they said, Louis James is saying, can I explain how cameras see in the dark? Well, I can. I can do. I'm getting a lot of background audio.
Yeah.
Jackie, to mute yourself.
What?
Thank you. It's very distracting when you're trying to speak and it's like having a chat.
Rackle,
Sorry.
rackle.
Thank you. And then Chris, like, you probably can't hear that because I got my noise canceller on, but yeah. Yeah, so where was I? Because I get distracted easily by shit like that. It just drives me off.
Them lights you're talking about.
Oh yeah, somebody said about no, how do phones see in the dark? Well, the bigger the image sensor, usually it helps, but also the bigger the pixels in the image sensor. So if you've got something that's like 40 megapixels, it doesn't apparently see as well in the dark as something that's got about 12 megapixels, which is where the Sony A7S is. But those pixels are bigger, you know. So instead of having 3 sets of pixels, which you'd have if you had a 40 megapixel camera, you know, you dispense with that by a lot. But the pixels you do have, you make them wider, bigger. And apparently that helps. And I think a lot of it, they say, is to do with image processing, because most of these cameras, they've not really got like magic sensors in them. What they do is they take a load of photos very quickly, and then they take the noise out of like 20 photos and average it out, and then you get the resulting clear looking low light photos. But video is much harder. That requires a hell of a lot of processing, and that's where the A7S apparently does well, because the sensor in the A7S is not much different to the sensor that's in the other cameras. It's just that the A7S has this really good noise processing. Well, you know, in that class of it's a 12 megapixel camera, not high megapixel, but you know, those sensors have been used in other cameras, but those other cameras look crap because they don't have the noise cleaning. It's all to do with live noise cleaning, which allows you to go super low. But yeah, anyway, in essence, but there's a new technology coming out soon that's going to replace CMOS technology, because we used to have you know, what was it before that? It used to be before CMOS. It was CCD technology. Then it became CMOS technology. And there's something coming beyond that now, which they reckon is going to be an absolute hyperleap in sensor technology. And literally everyone's phones are going to be seeing in the dark. It's not going to be too long now. They're just sort of like, they're sitting on it. You know, they've got the technology, but they, you know, it's like, who's going to be the one to roll it out? Is it going to be Apple or Samsung? Who's going to do it? But they've got this technology. But literally everyone's phones are going to be a see in the dark thing without having to use a torch, which will be a good day. But again, the trouble is with that, and the reason that probably they're sitting on it is, I imagine the governments have got involved, because the moment you do that, what have you just created? A handheld night vision device.
Yeah.
And when there's wars going on around the planet and night vision devices are not supposed to be exported because of wars, and you've all got one in your phone, that's a problem. So I think that could be a sticking thing. Hello, John. So
hello, Matt. Hello, Will.
How you doing?
Hello, Jackie. You all right?
Yeah, not too bad. Welcome in, mate.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, like I say,
shaved your head nicely.
Yes, I look more like Ming the Merciless now. God's alive.
Yeah. What plaything have you got for me today?
Yeah, like you're saying, releasing that type of technology in your mobile phone, it's basically putting like a night vision in the hands of criminals where they can go out and basically rob your house and stuff like that with no lights and torches and stuff as well. So
The funny thing is that I can see there might be an argument for that, but then that's where these things come in, because most of these cameras, including a GoPro, if you take off the infrared filter, or in these cameras, if you do it, it'll pull the infrared filter out when you switch it to night vision mode, then they see better in the dark. But if you then use infrared, it's like daylight. But of course, you're having to use infrared to fill the scene in. And I don't know why there's never been, as far as I'm aware, a phone provider that's just had one of these sensors is an infrared filter removed. So then instead of having a light, you could have an infrared light and you could walk around filming ghosty type stuff, on your phone. Nobody's ever done it. Or to have a little filter just go tick and comes out of the way. Nobody seems interested in it. It's like the whole concept of phones at night is something that they're only just getting into now and going, oh, look, we can take photos at night. It's like, yes, what about video, you morons? And so I'm like, video, forget photos, video. And it's just like, it's the most obvious thing, but nobody seems to be thinking about it. It's like, oh, it'll come, and I've been like, for years.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Well, I reckon there is a time and place for it, but most people at night won't use the phone or be out at night looking for recording stuff as well. So that might be part of the reason.
I think the reason most people won't use their phones at night is because traditionally the quality's been crap. However, if you could take really good video down on the beach in near pitch black, I think people would love it. And then it would be like, everyone would think, well, why have we never had this before? So it is one of those things. Until they give it to us, people are not going to know what they're missing. But once they've rolled it out, every phone will have it, and people will think, oh, was there ever a time when it wasn't like this? Yeah.
Like he's saying there, Andrew is saying finally when you can like back passage up when you're walking and stuff. Suppose in ways like that would be good because you can see if anyone's down there waiting to jump out on you and stuff like that.
I got this periscope light. I can get that up there and flip it around. Yeah. 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 That's it. CCTV cameras. I mean, you can take the infrared filter off a GoPro and off a lot of cameras. I mean, I could even take it off the A7S if I wanted to, because there is an infrared filter on that camera. Even though it can see in the dark, it's still got an infrared filter on it, but it's just very good low light. But if I took that off, it would be even better. Plus, then it would be infrared sensitive because I could use an infrared torch. But of course, you wreck it for daylight use then because it needs that to balance the colors out. But you could put a temporary infrared on whatever lens you're using to kind of sort that out, so you can fix it by screwing one on the front. But it's one of those, like, it's a weird one why companies don't just see that all cameras should have this as a feature, And GoPro are so bad. The GoPro quality at night is just so appalling. I mean, just imagine if they just turned around tomorrow and they said, look, we got a GoPro now that if you press the night button, it's got an infrared light on the front and you can walk around in the dark and see your friends, and everybody would be like, oh, this is brilliant. Why are they not bringing that out as a feature? It's like, it's all about daytime. It's all about what you get up to in the daytime. And it's like, of course, people, that have got GoPros don't do anything in the dark, do they? I mean, nobody does anything in the dark.
Yeah.
I know lots of people are out at night.
GoPro, though, has been out for years now. What is it? GoPro 10, is it? The latest one. And like you say, you'd think a big company like that 11 would have it sorted all out. 11 now, yeah.
It's the same old, right? I mean, I was lulled into thinking it could do night stuff and it would be okay, and I got it, and it was like, oh god, it's one of the worst cameras I've ever seen at night. It's really quite bad. And I think some of the earlier GoPros probably look better because they didn't attempt to try and clean up the image, and it makes a pig's ear of it. It's really bad. Yeah.
Has the Bovlov got night vision in it?
The Boblov does, yes. Yeah, that sees particularly well because, yeah, it's got the infrared filter is already, well, no, it comes in and out. You hear it going click, click.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It is a good thing to have, you know, for walking around at night. But, you know, you imagine now, I mean, they've got so many lenses. They got telephoto lens, wide angle lens, normal lens, some sort of lens that has something to do with depth of field, which nobody ever uses. Get rid of that crap. A night lens. Boosh. You know what I mean? It's like, don't bother with all this bloody lasers and all this sort of crap. It's a bloody night vision lens. Come on.
Yeah, like you say, there's so many different cameras on them now. Yeah, it's surprising they haven't brought one out, like you say.
Yeah. I've even had a 3D camera on a phone. Had two lenses side by side. And the screen was 3D as well. So you could literally see the 3D effect right in front of you and play it back. And then you could transfer it and watch it on a big screen and all that sort of stuff. But the cameras were such bad quality. It was like, oh, God. You could see it was 3D, but everything was just a mush, you know. It was just horrible. But the idea was there. Let's have a 3D walk around phone, you know, that's in 3D. Again, they're making all that effort. Why haven't they made one that films at night? Again, it's just like it's the elephant in the room, or lacking in the room, really. Yeah.
Someone just said about the GoPros try making a drone. It's not GoPro that's tried making drones. It's other people as well, like Parrot. They do electronics for car and free kits and stuff like that. And yeah, some people, it's like a skill. Some people's got it how to juggle. Some people haven't got a clue how to juggle. And some firms know how to do a certain job right, like say make handsets for the Bluetooth kits and stuff like that, like Parrot. But yeah, when they try and put their hand to something else, like making drones, they've just got to try and copy someone, and they don't know really what they're trying or what they're doing in technology and software and stuff like that. So they've always got to be inferior to the actual dedicated drone firms and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, Sony made a phone recently. I'm sorry to be if it's talking about phones too much, but Sony made a phone. It was like classed as a professional phone, professional cameras, still shot in a codec, you know, still shot in H.264, H.265. So that's like game over. The quality is going to be shit, you know. So it's like for professionals. You can't show that in a cinema. You'd have to clean that up a hell of a lot, you know. So where's the phone that shoots raw video? You can take raw photos on a phone. So where's the phone that shoots raw video? Nobody seems to want to do it. You know, DJI have just brought out the Mavic 3, and it's like, oh look, we've got a really good camera on it, and it still shoots in a bloody compressed codec, albeit Apple ProRes codec. You know, but like. They used to produce the Inspire drones, had raw cameras on them that could shoot raw video. Now, I know it's a lot to ask, but if anybody could do it, DJI could do it. They could have put a raw camera on that drone, right? They soldered in the memory so you couldn't remove the memory. You know, so it was just such backward steps. They're taking backward steps. So the next drone can have the things that should have been on this drone. Because everyone was going like, a lot of money for actually a lot of the features have gone, you know. The game with phones like Samsung reach a peak of like really good cameras, and then they start making them shit again, and shit and shit and shit and shit, and then they go, oh, the S30's out now, jump, and they put the camera back to being high quality. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah. And anyone who tells you that Apple have got good quality on their phones, they are shit at night, right? They might be okay in the day, they're all right in the day, but they are absolute dog shit at night. I mean, they're just rubbish. The horrible bitty quality, pixelated, breaks up, you know. Yeah, where's the raw quality for professionals? You'd think that somebody would have said, like, here we go. Okay, you can't shoot for long. You can only shoot for 10 minutes because it'll overheat, but here it is. Nobody wants to do it. Like, I mean, it's just, it drives hell into me. Like, all these companies can produce these phones, but they've all got to have H.264 or H.265, 8-bit color. Well, hang on. What about 10-bit color on a phone in video? Right? They won't even do that. Yeah. But what about 16-bit RAW? Yeah.
It's a bit strange because the technology's there to do it. It's not going to. I think it's down to expense. The technology's there. You can do it. Piece of piss. I mean, if you could have a camera on its own, which will do it, put the technology into a phone. It's not going to fucking make it any worse or any less. Yeah, you might have to have a little bit of a higher processor, but they bring that out all the fucking time. Sorry, too much swearing there, Will. Sorry, mate.
Like Andrew's saying there, it might be too expensive by the time they've added all the accessories. I don't know who that is. Bad echo then.
Well,
but
it's like there's no phones that shoot in Apple ProRes. So, I mean, RAW would be like an absolute mad dream, but there's even ProRes and 10-bit. Where's all that? They won't even go that far on a mobile phone. It's all 8-bit, H.264, H.265, crappy, can't see in the dark. It's like, when is a phone company, right, actually going to say, do you know what? ProRes, 10-bit or RAW, you can shoot RAW, but you can only get 5 minutes because it'll start overheating, but you can do it. You know what I mean? I'd love that. I'd be like, okay, I can shoot for 15 minutes ProRes or 5 minutes RAW.
I don't think it's even to do with the overheating, is it? It's probably the size of the file. I mean, a RAW file's massive, isn't they? RAW files.
Yeah.
Okay, we get what? You can get 128 gig, which ain't nothing to shy about. But like a RAW file, what? I don't know. It's going to be a good few gig. A proper RAW file.
I think it's how much is it? 500 gigs an hour.
Yeah. So you're looking
for ProRes.
So you could probably get what? 20 minutes, half hour tops before you're going to max out your machine. But then we'll just put some more in it. You can't tell me they can't put any.
Give it a big memory. Yeah, give it a terabyte of memory. But they're all like, 128 gigs, 512. It's like, come on, we're gonna. You can buy this stuff for a PC. Why is it not in a phone?
Yeah, can I just point out Tony's message there? That torch is absolutely mint. It's big. It's about that big, and it's got built-in coolers, fans. So when you turn it on the full power, it starts like humming as well. Yeah, it's pretty cool, that one. They do another one, DX80, and that's the one I wouldn't mind. The DX80, that's a flood one as well. I've got the RT35 one, and that's like a thrower basically. Matt's seen that thrower, haven't you? So the torch he had.
I'm just seeing if I can find this MS18W.
Immalent, it's called. IMALENT. MS18.
Oh, Immalent, MS18W. Yeah, £529.
They are expensive though, these torches.
Bloody hell. That looks like this one I got. Yeah. I don't know, it might be bigger. I'll have to see it in somebody's hands.
It is bigger than that, yeah.
Yeah.
That one in your hand is like the DX80 size.
Oh, they do have one for £379. Yeah. Because this is only 4,000 lumens, but it's 4,000 lumens in a tight beam. So 100,000 lumens. Yeah. It's got a lot more bulbs, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is much bigger. Yeah, I can see it in somebody's hand now. Shit.
Speak.
It comes with a strap because it's so big.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hey, weren't you or not?
Yeah, it's like double the length, so his hand might be able to go down it almost 2.5 times bigger. Good. Yeah, that's what we need. We need stuff like that.
Yeah. It's supposed to be the world's brightest torch as well.
Mm.
And that firm has held the record for that a couple of times, I believe, with the different products to bring out.
I think there's a guy called Styro Pyro who would argue against that, right? I mean, it might be the most brightest commercially available torch, but there's a guy called commercial, There's a guy called Styro Pyro who literally said, "I'm going to turn my microwave oven into a laser oven," and he got all these lasers. And basically, from one side of the room, he had to like stand on one side of the room, and he points all the lasers at the microwave oven, takes the door off, and he's cooking food in his microwave ovens with laser light. Right now, that is a torch. That is a torch.
Like
yeah.
Matt, going back to what you said, right? On a phone, like most of us, 128 gig in it, and all that. Yeah,
know,
you can
basic,
buy.
Innit?
Well, you can buy an iPhone. I don't like iPhone, by the way, but an iPhone 13 Pro. It's got 1 terabyte of storage for just shy of 1,500 quid. So where's the we can't put enough in it? Oh, you're going to bet you can do it. There's no reason why you can't.
It used to be that you could put your own memory stick in there, so you could put in as much as you want. But you know, albeit. I mean, I know they're going to have fast memory, and I know it might get hot. And I mean, filming in like something like ProRes might heat things up, but they're not even trying. John, you probably know what this means, but I mean, a lot of these phones are probably working on like 60 megabits per second data rate for H.264 and H.265, and like 100 is kind of like considered the minimum now these days. Right, and I mean, if they wanted to say like a super mode, they could put up to 200. So when you zoom into things, you're not seeing all this pixelization so much. You know, you're still going to see it, but not so much. You know, and it's like, I would say, don't make the back of the phone glass. They keep on doing this crap, right? Make the back of the phone metal, right? And therefore, if you're using it in a professional environment, you could just stick a heatsink on the back of it for a day. You know.
And most phones are underclocked anyway. The processors aren't overclocked. If anybody knows about that, you can overclock processors, right? You could do it on a phone if you really wanted. They always put in a processor which is more than what they say it is. It will do more.
Echo.
Hello, Twig.
Yeah. Oh, we live in hope. We live in hope.
Yeah. So an S22 there. Andrew's put 1,400 quid, right, for what I said. I think earlier. It's still not in the outer realm. I mean, most phones you buy, okay, you get it on a contract, but they're about £1,000 or so anyway. You have it on a contract. Most people put it on a contract, so it's not as if you're spending out that money straight away. You're just paying for it over whatever period, aren't you? I don't see a problem.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd be quite prepared to have a fatter phone, a bit chunkier, you know, a bit more weight to it. But it's kind of like, oh no, people won't like that. Well, it's like, well, Sony have just produced this camera, which is designed for professionals. So make it fatter, make it heavy. Professionals are used to carrying around beta cams on their shoulder, you know, like give people what they want. Make it heavy, make it chunky, make it have a good battery. Well, apparently that Sony one, in addition to its average sort of quality, actually, it can only film for about 10 minutes. It overheats and stops filming, and it's a professional phone. So they didn't design that very well. But to be honest, I think Sony have always had a problem in all their new phones with overheating. I've known a few people have had to give them back because they just overheat and shut off, you know, just normal daily use. You know, like crap.
I used to like the Sony Cybershot. That was quite a good phone. Yeah. I've got one
So
here
I
still.
use a Samsung, and I won't go to anything else now. I prefer it. Very rarely do they overheat unless you're really revving the nuts out of it, doing stupid things with it, which you can. Other than that, you can film. It doesn't overheat. But I agree with what you say, Matt, in the sense of like they always want to put glass on the back. Like I've cracked my phone screen, and the back of it's cracked as well. It's like, now I've got to fucking change that if I want to do it, and they just charge you the earth.
I mean, most people, the moment they get their phone, they put it in a case of their choice, don't they? I mean, there's not many people who carry them around with a sort of like, oh, look at my glitzy back, glass back on this thing. I think it's irrelevant, really. I mean, make it out of something that's not going to get injured. Make it out of aluminium. Well, actually, they can't, because that would stop the signals. So it'd still have to be plastic, but plastic or glass to let the phone signals go through. But yeah,
Could you use a aluminium case as an aerial?
Well, you could, but you'd have to cut it off in bits. So there'd have to be a gap between that piece of aluminium and the rest of the aluminium, because that antenna. And the trouble is with having two metallic substances near each other is it creates induction problems. So if you have a little finger of an antenna down the side of the phone, and you have this big piece of metal next to it, which is the back of the phone, then that's going to really soak up all its energy and send most of its energy into that. Whereas if it's glass, that will just go out in all directions because it's not being affected. So, yeah.
Yeah. Answers my question, that then, didn't it? If you don't ask, though, you don't get to know. And suppose someone's told you that as well.
I think they're getting worse antennas.
Make it all out of Gorilla Glass. The whole thing. It doesn't matter what you colour it, like on the back, Gorilla Glass, because that's quite strong.
Oh, yeah, it's awesome, that stuff. It is.
Yeah. Well, Starlux camera, I mean, they're only really on par with the A7S. And the problem is as well, I mean, like when you record with a Starlux camera, they've got bad codecs on them as well, so they're quite bitty and horrible. Yeah, I've not been that impressed with them, to be honest.
Yeah, I'll have to get a phone soon as well. Don't know which one to get, but I'll have to get one. Mine's dead slow now. I've kept on cleaning all the memory and stuff. It's just totally full, and the screen's all smashed up to bits. So I think it's time to get a new one and get a Facebook account going as well, and get a new Instagram, or get my Instagram going again as well. So yeah, I think that's the way to do it. Also, I've been looking at about doing monthly competitions on my channel. It's in the pipeline at the moment, and just getting some thoughts on how to actually run it, and how to actually get it going and stuff, and how to present it and stuff like that. So I have got things in the pipeline working on. So it's not just videos. I want to try and get the audience more involved with what I'm doing in my films and live streams, and more conversation flowing through the chat and stuff like that. Oh, we've got a Taffy in the house.
Hey, cool. Taffy.
Hello, Taffy.
Oi. So there we are. We don't ignore you, right? Now remember, we're not ignoring you, Taffy. Come on. Come on.
What's the Canon 800D are you saying there on the screen? Have you had any things with that?
The thing about 800s and all the hundreds numbers is they're all the small sensors. So the thing with a small sensor is it's going to be noisier, and it's not going to see so well in the dark. It's always the 1-inch sensors and the bigger sensors that see better. And he says, piss off to me. Yeah, so you're better off with something that's got a big sensor, and some sensors are better than others. So like they've had like the 5D had a better sensor than the 6D. You know, the 5D Mark III is better than the 60 because of the way it connects and what it allows you to do, and the type of memory cards and how you can record onto the card. You got much better footage out of the 5D Mark III than you did out of the 60. You know, so you can't always go by these numbers. So when Canon bring out a new camera and they go, oh, it's the 800, and they go, oh no, now we've got the 900. Probably find the 900's worse than the 800 because its bits have been changed and chopped off and made worse with a few extra functions on it, but actually the quality's worse. So you've got to be really careful. Never ever look at the numbers and go, wow. You have to look at the tech specs.
Yeah.
Jackie, get your Bluetooth headphones on. You charged them up the other day. Come on.
A lot of firms do lie
echo
about the products, what they actually can do, when there's supposed to be guidelines, what you're allowed to say and what you can't say on false advertising. But somehow they do push it out, don't they? Like it's capable of running at this speed and that speed and stuff like that, but only for a split second when you really need it for the most, and that's about it. That's probably how they get away with it, stuff like that.
Well, they bring out like you know, I've got the S10, and they brought out I think the S20 I think afterwards, and they're like, what's the difference? And the guy in the shop just went, nothing really, other than I suppose the camera's probably like a pixel or two better, but other than that, there's nothing really different. It might have a few different apps, but not going to make any difference for your day-to-day use of it. And that's what they do. And people will go, you know what? Oh, I'm going to get the S22 because it's the latest version, but it's actually shit. It's just there's no difference.
Yeah, like the guy who was saying before, Andrew, saying it's down to cost, and if they put all these cameras on your phone, people won't buy it. But I'm sure people will buy it no matter what the cost is on the phone. Because you got to remember, when the first iPhone came out, you wouldn't think you'd be paying another £1,000, over £1,000 for the same product a few years down the road, would you? So you get hooked on the technology, and just because it's modern and something new, of course, people's got to buy that because they're going to be the first people to have that product and show off to their friends and stuff like that, like a status symbol or something. Know what I mean?
It wasn't that long ago when people would go out and buy a 35mm DSLR camera, film camera, and that would cost them £1,000. And then they'd be going, oh, right, now a lens to go with that. Oh, shall I get a wide angle? Right, that'll be £300. Oh, then another lens. Oh, that'll be £400. And these are cheap lenses. This is just like the bargain budget lenses. If you were going and buying Canon stuff, you'd be going like, right, that's £2,000 for the camera, £2,000 for a lens, £2,000 for another lens. If you want a telephoto lens, that's £6,000. You know, so but then you end up with something that's monstrous. And I think this is why a lot of people really like the idea of ditching all their crappy old phones. Hello, Melissa. Ditching all their old crappy phones in place of having a few of these lovely little lenses on the front. And they've got everything that they used to have with all those lenses and messing around and all that. And it's just magic now, because now they can pretend to be David Bailey with this crappy phone, which is actually making up for the fact the image sensors are all not brilliant in them by actually noise cleaning the images. Which is why a lot of people say, like, oh, the colors don't look right. Oh, some are better than others, and some look smoother, and some like. It's all down to the processing. It's like Apple's got processing, and Apple has a look, you know, to its processing, and then Samsung's got its processing look. It's all just image processing. If you shoot RAW on your phone, you get rid of all that processing, and you can do it yourself later on and get the images out clean. But for your average punter, they just want to press the button and then go, look how good this bloody phone is. It's amazing, isn't it? Look at the telephoto lens. And I remember when my lenses used to be this big. They love it. And I think they will pay a couple of £1,000s for it. Even granddads will pay £1,000 for a phone like that, because they remember when they had to pay 3,000 years ago for something they just shot on film. Yeah.
I suppose if they're going to do that for something with RAW on it, they're going to have to put a program on it so you can convert it to how you want and clean the other images up as well. They'd have to put that on there, because otherwise it'll be pointless having it on a phone and not being able to do anything with it other than putting it on a PC and running it through your system. That's probably the only thing.
We've got a next guest in here. Is it
Tafoid?
No. I'll let you up if you don't slap anyone, Will. Okay.
Hey!
Whey!
Yeah, it's Chappy.
Here he
Just got
is.
his all going there. Thought it was Will Smith, didn't you?
Don't slap anyone.
Yeah.
How's your missus? Still got bald head?
Yeah.
I got wrong way. Yeah, man.
It's
How
good
you
to see
doing?
you in, mate.
How is everyone?
Oh,
Very good. And
You've done
yourself?
a nice
Yeah.
live stream today. Your birthday one. I was watching that in the background.
Mate, that got a bit messy towards the end, like.
Towards the end, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
I was well impressed you managed to get out the next day. You know.
Oh, mate, I was
Sorry,
up before
language.
Brady.
Yeah.
I was actually up before Brady, and I was like, I had to ring him and wake him up. I was like, well, I was like, Brady, where are you? And he was like, oh, I didn't think you were going to get up. I was like, shut up, I'm going exploring. Get in now. He was like, oh, I'll be there for 10 o'clock. Oh, no, 10:30. 9:45 comes, and he's like, oh, yeah, I've just left mine. I was like, all right, sound. So, yeah. But Mr. Volt was, he hit the nail on the head with that, mate, with the Canon series, yeah? If it's 3 digits, low CMOS sensors, yeah? And anything over the four figures and plus is pretty much, it's not full frame, is it? It's a 1-inch frame, isn't it?
Yeah, like all the low numbers, like the 1,
Yeah.
the
1
the
up to
4,
9,
the 5, the 6, they're all 1-inch sensors.
Yeah.
But they've got very different processing powers on them, you know, which is like you've got to choose correctly.
A Nikon D3300, which is for the beginners, it's one of the best low end cameras that you could buy. But I've done weddings with it. I've done a lot. I started off in a lot of low light stuff, so you learn then how to do, especially picture wise. You learn then how to sort of like do light paintings. So you just get your torch, full manual mode, nothing else, and then just set your ISO to about 400. Put your f-stop to around about 12, 13 in the day, in the night time. Opens up your shutter right up, get a high shutter speed, and off you go, like, you know. But you got to learn.
That's quite dark. You want low numbers for a wider open f-stop.
Pretty much. It all depends on how quick you need it as well, yeah. Do you know what I mean? So obviously, the lower the number, the slower it is, yeah.
It's got to take the light in, isn't it?
No, the lower the number for the f-stop, the more light you're getting in. So an f1 is very bright lens,
it's like
and an f10 is bringing the iris in. You know.
Yeah. So like on day-to-day stuff, I use around about f7, f8. In pure daylight, and then obviously, like, that it all depends. It all depends on your situation.
There's a sweet spot.
Loads of work. Do you know what I mean? That I've done in the daytime, in the nighttime. Do you know what I mean? A lot of my stuff is all handheld as well, so none of it's with a tripod because I don't own a tripod. But a tripod, mate. The sturdier your tripod, the better, mate. So that's the only other good thing, if you're going to buy a decent camera, make sure, like, I've had Manfrotto tripods. I've had really expensive stuff, like, do you know what? It's worth every single penny. But I'm just too heavy-handed, do you know what I mean? So it's like yourself that's not too heavy-handed, where I'm just like launching them over the wall, and instead of like, strapping it to me back, do you know what I mean? I'm just launching them over just so I can dive over the next wall and go to the next, and like, you're running away from like security or police, whatever. You're just launching them into the car, do you know what I mean? And it's just, over years, they just get broken, do you know what I mean? So, I've stood on my tripod, do you know what I mean? It's been that good, like.
Yeah.
But, it all depends, mate, on your budget as well, on how much you want to spend, yeah?
Do you reckon in the future, say like the next 5-10 years, they'll be ruling out cameras, like what you take cameras like and what you DHL and stuff like that, for a more like something like a pocket sort of like type camera instead? You know what I mean? Like a digital camera instead of a fully adjustable camera. where you can manually adjust it and stuff like that.
It wouldn't surprise me, mate. You look at CCTV these days, mate. They can get a crystal clear picture of you from about 100 yards away. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, if they're going into that sort of stuff, mate, it's it'll change, mate. You know, mate, come tomorrow, mate. They might release a camera, mate, that'll spot you from about 10 fucking mile away. Like, do you know what I mean? You don't know, do you? Do you know what I mean? You look at like speed camera vans. They get you from 1,000 yards away before you even know it. Do you know what I mean? So who's not to say in the next, like, before Christmas, who knows what's going to happen? Do you know what I mean? It's like when the first full thingy camera came out, full sensor came out, that was a massive game changer. It was about $3,000, the first one that ever came out, $3,000 or $4,000. And it was ridiculous amount, mate, you know. But I wouldn't be looking into stuff like that right now. You know, I've had my camera since 2017. It's the glass, mate. It's the lens that costs you money, mate. Yeah. So like your standard kit lens, which is 18 to 55 millimeter, yeah, which is your standard kit lens. I bought a 10 to 20 mil kit, Sigma 10 to 20. It's proper, it's ultra wide, mate. It's amazing. But you know what? I don't really use any other lens, mate, apart from that. It's just really bulky. That's my problem.
Yeah, but 18, you got a small sensor, haven't you?
Yeah, it's a CMOS sensor, yeah.
Well, no, it's not. CMOS is the technology, the size.
Pretty sure
is a small sensor. So 18 is more like a 50 millimeter, which is actually quite close.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
It's very close, and the trouble with having a close lens is you see the shake more because if you've got something that's ultra wide, you know, that would probably be down like an 8 millimeter. You'd need. It's almost like seeing from horizon to horizon, left to right.
I think it's something like 160 degrees, yeah, which is, you know, quite some joy in it.
Yeah, but yours as an 18 is not going to be seeing that much because it's more.
I've got some work here that I've done.
Can I just
show you? It's
as
a micro sensor, yeah.
I'm just putting in a minute.
My camera, mate,
hello.
For the work that I've got.
What do you want? Why are you disturbing us? Come on, stop it now.
Someone's asked me a question there. What's my favourite cars? My best favourite cars of all time. I'd say one's a Vauxhall Nova. I've still got that. I've got one of myself. The other two, I think one would be a Sierra Cosworth. And my last one would be a Ferrari or something. The old school F40 it would be. Yeah. So that's the cars I'd have. Yeah.
Right, your 18 millimeter lens is more like a 28 millimeter lens that you would have had on a 35 mil camera, which is wide, but it's not super wide. It's okay for photos, but it's not super wide because when you're doing stuff in buildings and things like that, you know, and you're walking around, even a 28 millimeter feels kind of like you're tight in a room, you know. It's so
sometimes, you have to sort of like be in the doorway. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes, do you know what I mean? Because you can get like fisheye lenses and stuff like that, which are like 8 millimeter, yeah. But then you've got that horrible roundness to it. And it's just mini.
No, you get that's because you got a fisheye. You can get them, but you get them called aspheric. You get them if you get them aspheric, it removes the barrel distortion.
Does it?
So yeah, when you walk around, you do get a slight stretching as it goes to the edge, but it doesn't stretch and bend into a fisheye. It stretches, but stretches straight.
Right.
Is it like a dome? Not a dome. Is it just like an arch?
Yeah,
like lens. I'm looking at the top. It's like a bridge.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. And not round all the way around.
Yeah, it's weird, mate. I can't remember the name of the bloody lens now. It's 11 to 17 mil. I noticed just in the corners, it was sort of just pinched in the corners. What's the name of the bloody thing now? Let me Google it on my phone. 11 to.
If you want to have a look at the kind of what we're talking about here, right? I'll just share my screen with you, right? This is the Insta 360 camera, right? And it's just like it's like a GoPro. When things go to the edge, they bend. So when they're in the middle, they don't bend, but when they go to the edge, they bend. However, if you zoom in, you lose that effect a little bit. It still bends a bit. It bends a bit,
but very little,
very little. Now you can then tell it to fake it into being an aspheric lens. Hang on, which is you put this thing there, and you say I want it to be an aspheric lens. Right now, I can zoom back on the same image, and as I go to the left and right, notice
more flat now, doesn't it?
Notice it's flat.
Yeah,
it's flat, but it stretches, but it's very wide. But you can zoom in, and now it'll stretch less. You know, that's what an aspheric lens is. That's what they do. So that's why you get rid of the barrel distortion.
So that's the difference between the two, basically.
Mate, you've got so many choices now.
This is a fisheye. Fisheye is like that. It's like you're looking at.
Fisheye is crazy, mate.
It's like.
Mate. It knocks you sick, mate, when you're looking at it. It's that weird, yeah.
And that's more like what you want is an aspheric lens, whereby as you look up, things bend into the distance with perspective. They bend up towards an infinity point with perspective. So buildings look like they're going towards a triangle top, and then when you go straight on the edge of the building, the lines line up again, and you look straight. But when you look up to the top of the building again, the lines point away from you, so you get a triangle. So it's like everything's going to a point. Now that's an aspheric lens, an aspheric. So that's what you want. Anyway, just thought I'd share that with you. So those are the best lenses,
Well, you're better off, right? Like if you're getting a camera for the first 12 months, keeping the kit lens, mate, for the first 12 months. Get used to the camera, what each setting does. Do you know what I mean? Really get down and dirty with it, and for 12 months. Then in 12 months, maybe 18 months down the line, right? I would then consider new glass, new lens, yeah? But then all depends on, obviously, with Canon, I found that it was a little bit cheaply made to Nikon, but everything's backwards from Canon to Nikon to Canon, yeah? So, like the zoom lens on the Canon goes to the left, but Nikon goes to the right. So it's like that. So when you're going from Canon to Nikon to Canon, it messes you up. So if you're cack-handed, like I'm cack-handed, going to the right is a lot easier than going to the right. Going to the right is easier than going to the left for me. So I had the Canon, I think it was the 650D, flip out screen, touch screen, had all the little mod cons, but I just couldn't get to grips with it. I tried and I tried and I tried, and I just couldn't deal with it. So, it was, it was one of those things. So I got rid of it. Between the two cameras, I had like 13 different lenses, and it's a lot of money when it's just sat there doing nothing, So I ended up getting rid of it. I just couldn't be dealing with it, and then I just sold all the lenses individually. So it worked out, I'd get a better price for it that way than what it would be to sell it as a bulk light. So I just sold I think I had the kit lens with it, and then I put a Sigma 10 to 20, and then I put a Tamron 70 to 300. So there was a bit of there was some wide variety there, so I just put them as a deal, and then the rest of them was stuff like the 24 to 70 mil. That was that's a cracking little lens, so. But yeah, I can talk about that stuff all day long, if people don't get bored of me, But yeah,
I suggest if people are interested in buying a lens, do not just go out and buy a lens. Go and look at review sites, and there's an absolutely brilliant site on YouTube, a guy called Christopher Frost Photography, and he's this Welsh bloke, and he's actually a Reverend Minister. He's actually a man of the cloth, and he talks very much like this. And he goes, "This is the Canon 17mm lens. As you can see, it's a little bit distorted on the edges, but if you step that f-stop down, then you get some nice, really crisp images." And he goes through the sweet spots. If you open it up for light, then it's going to be blurry. But if you step it down too much, it'll be blurry. And he tells you the sweet spot, and he tells you whether it's got chromatic aberration. And and a lot of the time he slates like the Sonys and the Canons and the Nikons. He classes them as cheap shit, And it's like, unless you spend the mega bucks, like ridiculous money, for the Canon do these red band lenses, the professional lenses. They call them, I think they call them the L for luxury lenses, the Ls. And
serious money, mate. You get the 85mm, it's about 800 quid. It's Jesus Christ, but the money that goes into them as well, they're not cheaply made either. You know what I mean? So they probably costing them 200 quid to make it. Do you know what I mean? They're not cheap made,
Before you buy a lens, it doesn't matter. You think, oh, well, I won't buy Canon because I heard Sigmas are better than Canon. Don't believe anything you've heard. Don't believe anything. Go and have a look. Go and have a look with Christopher Frost Photography, because he takes the same photo on a tripod, the same photo of the same thing with all these lenses. I've got hundreds of lenses. It's the same photo he takes with every lens. And you see which ones are better.
This is my 300, right? Everyone told me stay away from Tamron. Yeah, stay away from it. It's garbage. And I was like, no, absolutely not. I was like, not telling me what to do, right? So me being me, I was like, fuck it. I was like, right, let's just do it anyway. So I bit the bullet. I went and I paid so much money for that. I think I paid 60 quid for it. It was secondhand. There was no...
Oh, God alive, Taffy, you live on the edge, mate. Flipping now. Dangerous. Whoa.
Listen, right? There was no scratches, right, on the lens, right?
You're buying a meal next time, mate, because I can't keep up with that. The food's on you all. No.
Do you know what I mean? But it was it was cheap. It was really cheap, and I was like, right,
it's cheap, so give it a go. Why not?
Lens go for that cheap, right? So I thought, right, what's wrong with it? So I took my camera, I took the body with me, right? And I said, can I try it first? He was like, yeah. So off I went, took some pictures of some little blackbirds, some robins about a quarter of a mile down the road, hanging out of some trees, And, I made sure I took my glasses with me because obviously I didn't want to get that. I don't want any scratches on the, on the mirror or anything like that. Or, if the caps have been left off, and don't want any dirt in there. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, I really had to look at this lens properly. And it took me about 10 minutes to look at it. And the guy was like, so what do you think? I was like, well, how much do you want for it? It was like 60 quid. I was like, yeah, I'll just give it him. Just ran off I thought it was a bit of a bargain, because I thought if I sell that lens now, it's got to be 100 quid, 120 quid for the lens. I thought, well, at least if I don't like it, at least I can, I'll get my money back. So, I fell on with that lens. My kit lens is here. I've always got it to hand. Not that I'd ever use it, because I just don't have any reason. Do you know what I mean, to use it? So it's, it is literally if you find a little bargain, you need to know what you're looking at, and if you get stuck, do you know what I mean? There's always people out there that'll, at a drop of a hat, that'll help you, So if Volt can't help you, mate, just give me a quick bell. Mate, if I don't know what I'm doing now, mate, over 5-6 years, then I don't know what I'm on about. Do you know what I mean? But I've got a very good idea, I've had to sit there. I sat there for 6 months looking at different Canons, different Nikons, which was the best for, as a starting camera. everyone kept saying, oh, 3200, 3300, 3400. There wasn't much between them on the Nikon. And then everyone was saying, I think it's, I can't remember what it is now, 1800D or something, daft or something that was like the best for beginners and stuff. You know, and there's a lot, mate, you know, and I didn't have any problems, you know, getting a camera, and then I was like, well, what am I doing? So then friends were just like, well, yeah, look, I'll show you. And then obviously then you just learn yourself. Then you think, I wonder if I go to this one or that one. And then you go, and Jesus, that's whitewashed. Do you know what I mean? Because your ISO boosted right up, like, do you know what I mean? So, you know, it all depends on what you want to do. If you want to do like stuff like nature, stuff like that, do you know what I mean? Then you want a good lens, you know, that.
You probably want a zoom lens, really, for nature.
That sort of stuff.
Know what I mean? A zoom lens, because you want to stay away from the animals so you don't scare them.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you
that's
need
it.
a good zoom
It's
lens.
like, I think they go up to like 1800 mil. Do you know what I mean? Or it could even be more now. Do you know what I mean? I haven't really looked into it over the last couple of years.
How's your drone flying going, Taffy?
Mate, all right, yeah.
You took it out recently, or what?
Yeah, I've been out loads of it, mate. I've not posted anything, because like at the minute I'm just trying to sort of get used to it, yeah. But
yeah, you were meant to be getting some footage because you went, oh, I never pressed record last time, did you?
Oh no, I did, and that's what I went straight back out. And that's
when
I brought that one out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went straight back out because I didn't press record for some reason. It was counting up on my screen, but nothing was actually recording because obviously I didn't press it on my goggles. So that's why I just wanted to just sort of get that out, and then at least then people would know that I've got the goggles and, you know, things like that. So now I've been a bit busy at the minute because I spent all day yesterday filling out forms for my mental health and filling out forms for the council, Joe, for the new place and stuff like that. So literally I had like a full day, you know, like filling all that kind of stuff out. And then this morning I've woken up and I've got pain in my neck and in my shoulders, where I've like slept funny. So I'm kind of like in a little bit of pain with that. So I haven't really done much today. So
yeah, I want to go and get my drone out this week as well. And fly it about. There's something I want to go and check out. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah. The only thing about the drone though, I don't like the birds because my drone's a mini thing, and they just,
they think
that's
it's
the only
a bird, don't they? And they just start like trying to attack it and that.
Yeah, they hover around them in big circles and get closer and closer, and it's just like each time they come towards it, I'm like scared.
I have had some unusual crashes. I've had some unusual crashes, and I wondered if it was birds. But in general, I think they're very crafty because they swoop, and they swoop in front, but they're really crafty because you know, like when they fly in front of your car and you think that definitely went underneath my car, and it never is. They just literally go whoosh in front of the car. It's like daredevils, aren't they?
Yeah.
But if you're worried about it, just get some blade protectors on there so you can bump it into trees and all sorts. And you know, just get some blade protectors.
I've got a set. It comes with a set of them anyway, but taking that up a couple hundred feet with them blade protectors, the wind will catch it and just take it away. Like I say, it's a very light drone at the minute.
Mate, you look at mine, mate. My little one there now, it's only 42 grams, mate.
Yeah, but yours got
grams,
more
powerful
motors in it.
I think it was like 16 mile an hour winds or 15 mile an hour winds. It wasn't too bad, but you know what? It handled really well. Because of how fast you're going.
Yeah, like I say,
through the air.
Bigger motors, faster motors, so that's why it's more stable in the wind.
Well, that's it. It's like, I don't know what KV motors are in, do you know what I mean, in them ones. So
I think it's 1700 it looked like in yours.
In mine, I can't remember. I'll have to have a look.
Because you can tell by the sound of there's just when they spin up.
Mate, it's so
difference.
high, like poof. Mate, I took off, right? And you should see it. I put a video up on TikTok, right, a couple of weeks ago, and I took off from my hand, right, and it was just like it just went poof, And literally, I was just watching me going like from this big, it was just going, and I was tiny. I don't know how high I was, but I tell you what, right? I don't want to go that high with it ever again. I can promise you that much, right? Because everything looks like ants, mate. I swear down. I was like, I seen a horse, mate, and the horse looked like an ant. Do you know what I mean? It was like, that's how high. And it was in the matter of like 2 seconds, maybe 3
Yeah.
seconds.
Very fast compared to the ones that we're used to.
Oh, mate,
What I mean.
rapidly fast,
Yeah.
mate. Like ridiculous fast.
And that's why a lot of people were going and complain about drones when they first came out, about how fast they were going in this and that. It's probably because it was them type of drones that were getting flown about in the parks and stuff, where obviously people didn't want you flying them near them, and that, especially at 90 miles an hour and stuff like that. Yeah. So until the drone laws came in, that's probably where all the bad publicity came from, a lot of that. But with the newer drones like the DJI and stuff like that, they've got a lot more safety built in, and obviously travel a lot slower and stuff like that. So, and also the rules are stepped in now as well, guidelines.
Well, this is it, and it's like, see where I want to fly with my my freestyle FPV drone. You know, it's I could fly around this room because it's that small. This is more than enough space that I need. Do you know what I mean? So whether I'm outside or I'm indoors, it makes no difference because I'm not running off satellites. I am literally going to the drone, to the goggles. That's it. There's no satellite signal or nothing. So if it cuts out for whatever reason, then that's something to do between my goggles and my drone. Do you know what I mean? So, and that's it. Do you know what I mean? But I've been having a look at the antennas and stuff like that because Secret Vault was messaging me last week, I think it was, and he was like, "Oh, find out what they are and this and that." And I was like, "Well, I don't really know this stuff." Like, so
you've got like rifle mic ones that are good for distance, for going miles down a straight line. But if you fly out to that rifle, it's like binoculars. If you fly out to the binoculars, the signal goes. And what you want the wide angle equivalent of like that see all the way around.
Yeah,
so you can fly behind it. Yeah.
See, like my
there
that are on my goggles are like, I think they're flat something or another antennas, which is supposed to be really good for like
distance.
You know, like but like even for like, you know, like just in front of me, they're supposed to be really good. But where I want to fly in between like trees and in and out of buildings and stuff like that, eventually, you know, especially with this one, because it's my first drone. So whether I smash it or what, I don't know. But at least then, do you know what I mean? At least then I'll try and sort of like have a little bit of different footage and stuff. And
you have to remember with those antennas, right? You know, like a television antenna. Just think of it like a television antenna. It's a big long arm with a load of those dung 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 dung. But it's like a dog's nose. Instead of being a long thing with all those like beams on it, they're called beams, right? It's squished. It's squished into a flat panel, but it's basically still directional. It's like a pencil beam. It's like a pencil beam coming out of the front. So think of it like a rifle. It's like as if you're zooming in on a robin in the distance, but you're not aware what's going on to the left or to the right because you can't see it. It's gone. Right, and that's called the polar pattern. The polar pattern, and you'll have a little bit to the back and most of it to the front. But if you got one of those clover leaf things, it'll be omnidirectional. It'll be an all-round polar pattern. So what some people do is they have both because you've got two inputs. So you've got one on the left and one on the right of your goggles. And what they do is when the signal gets stronger on one or the other, it switches.
It goes
switches back and forth. So what they do is they have one which is a long-range one on one side, and they have one which is omnidirectional on the other. So if they fly towards themselves and they've gone out of the range of the very narrow beam of this one, it'll automatically switch to this other one. And as they fly behind them, they'd never be able to pick anything up on those ones if they're facing that way. If you fly behind yourself, never be able to pick anything up.
That's bad luck. Pompey there. He's been 2 up in the first week, and Seagulls hit. Who else have we got here now? Hello, mate. We've got a few new people here. Cool.
The thing is, you can fly them with the prop guards on them, and if you're not used to flying, it does make them a bit more sluggish. But if they come down and they came down on this side, the prop guards would just take a lot of that nasty impact. Like, you know, they just crumple up.
See, mine is
You know.
just all open, and I mean open as open can be. Now,
I'll be back in a
like
second.
an idiot, right? My screen went white as anything, yeah. And I was just like, can't see nothing. It must have fell out the sky about 70 foot.
Wow.
It's not high,
Bloody hell.
but it's still high enough, yeah.
Yeah.
And literally, it just plowed straight into the ground, right? And I was like, well, that's the end of that one, then, isn't it? Picked it up, flew off again, mate. Off I went. I was like, Jesus.
Wow.
What's it made out of? Is it aluminium or
No,
plastic or?
carbon fiber.
Oh, is it? That might
That's
be why.
light,
Then.
then.
Carbon
Yeah, a bit
fiber. It's
stronger.
expensive, right?
Yeah.
I think you can get the frame itself. I think it's about 25 quid. But literally, mate, it's about yay big.
Yeah, it's just a little
Right,
thing.
in fact, I can show you now. Throw these over here. It's proper tiny. Look how small that is. Right now, look at this. Right. So if anyone knows the size, right, that's a Mavic Pro. That's smashed. Right. Now look at that. Right. So if anyone knows the difference, right, between a Mavic Pro, which is this one, and then obviously that one, you can see the difference. They're like, it's so like tiny. But do you know what? It is rapid. It is so weird to fly. When you get used to DJI, and then like someone kept telling me, Taffy, stay away from it, stay away. But if you look, right, you can just about see, like, you see all like the grass and that's in there. Can you see it all? It needs a bit of a clean, like, but yeah, it's pretty funny, like. It just literally just like rolled over about 8 times.
I believe the DJI is
definitely
out
a
with
good
a new
bit
one. DJI Mini 3, I believe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. As the DJI Mini 2, that's got a zoom, but is it only one time zoom? Do you know? Or can you zoom in twice or whatever?
Well,
I know the first one, it had the 2K camera, and the 2 had a 4K camera. So I bet you what it is, if you're in 2K, it'll zoom into the 4K sensor. It's probably just 2 times digital zoom. Yeah.
That's what I reckon the next one's going to be, a better zoom on it, and obviously they can't change the weight. They want to keep the weight as low as they can for the market reasons. And
doesn't matter now because the law changed. They were trying to come in and under that thing so it didn't have to be registered. And they changed it, so they went, you all have to be registered. So it's like there was no point. But at least it made them try to get the weight down. Yeah,
but you don't need a license, do you? You need an operator's ID number, but no license to fly them.
For any drone that's got a camera on. If it doesn't have a camera on, you're exempt. But if it has a camera on, it's got to be licensed.
See, mine comes under as a toy, believe it or not. That's crazy.
Yeah, because yours doesn't record, does it?
It does.
It does?
Yeah.
And
but through my goggles, not through the drone.
Yeah.
And that's why
what I'm saying.
And because it's so small and under a certain weight, it comes under as a toy. It doesn't come under as an RC, even though it is RC, which is radio controlled, if anyone doesn't understand.
But there we are. I mean, it's horses for courses, because you're enjoying the fast flying, but there is a quality loss of the image, and then but eventually, you could strap a camera on there. It's a little bit more high quality and get some better
this is what I'm
footage,
looking at now, and I can't remember the name of it now. Like, that's got a run cam 2 in that one, which is like the best of the best that that model will do. But then I'm looking at a thing called Bumblebee V6. So it's a 6-inch quadcopter right? But on that, I can literally strap a GoPro to it because it takes a 6S battery, which has got plenty of punch. So eventually I want to be able to sort of like, do a lot of like the cinematic stuff. So that's where my GoPro will come in then. And then my all my footage and everything then will be crystal clear. So I'll just up the frames per second a little bit. Do you know what I mean? I'm probably run it at 4K or something when I'm doing it, but then drop it down to like 1080p so that I'll have like crystal clear stuff, and then run it through Steady something or another. Can't remember the name.
Yeah.
So I'll run it through that as well, and then start editing, and then hopefully then naughty Taffy on the edge of legislation.
Yes,
Mate, you don't know what Taffy does with his drone. Jesus Christ. I had the police knocking on my door because I threatened to fly a Big Mac into I'm a celebrity. Right? So that wasn't funny. Then I got shouted at then for flying my drone over a motorway. Same copper turned up and he said, I warned you once. He said, second one, I said, I'm not going to be so nice. I was like, oh, whatever. And then I managed to fly it over a military base. Well, that's how I did that, but I did it. So that was pretty funny. I haven't had a knock on the door for that yet, though. So,
but was it on the air maps as you can't fly over there?
No.
No, then you're covered.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I did that at Caution. That at Caution, and now they've got signs up saying drone away, you can't fly over here. And I think recently they have actually put it on so you can't fly over there. But that's probably because of me, because for a few years you could fly over there. Because
of me, over I'm a Celebrity Castle now has got a flight zone on it. Right? So they were like, oh, you can't fly here. But what they forget, right, is that not only now have they messed themselves up, because a lot of the FPV racing drones, they actually rent the castle out. So now they can't fly there now either. So now they've lost out on business now as well. So as far as I'm concerned, that's their own problem. Do you know what I mean? So
can they take it off though whenever they want, sort of thing, or
I think they have to apply for it way before. So say now that you get, I don't know, 18th of August. Yeah, let's just be dead random with the dates. Yeah. Right, and then I think they have to apply, and I think it takes them about 3 months for them to pull it off for that one day. Do you know what I mean? And then it will go straight back up. Then, do you know what I mean? They'll say, "Oh, we've got an event on it in such and such. We'd like to remove it for the day, and it costs a lot of money, mate. A lot of money. So it must be worth it for them to do it."
I've got one of them drone assist apps. If I take my green screen off, I can show you then what we're talking about. The red parts, like you see, you got dark red, lighter red, and no red at all. The parts where it's no red, you're allowed to fly, and the what's lighter red means you can fly there, but there's caution. And then you've got like the airports here where you're not allowed to fly, basically.
Well, you can, just don't hang around when you've done it.
Well, they won't let you take off, will they? They won't let you take off. You can activate the app if it'll let you, but like even if I had permission from the Verne prison, I wouldn't allow me to fly over there, even if I had permission, even if I typed it into the app. It doesn't give me the option. It's like it's not available. Just not available. That's it. So imagine if I was working as a documentary maker to film the Verne for BBC, I'd have a problem because it's like no, under no circumstances can you take this drone over that prison. It's like, oh Jesus, and it's in the software, like, you know. So
crazy, isn't it? See, and this is where FPV drones come in really handy, because they don't get none of that, right? And because they're so small, all it comes up is a UFO, an unidentified flying object, right? So then it's like literally then you get like The military police will turn up, but if you're at military, you'll get normal police. You'll probably get firearms turning up. You'll get literally everybody down at the time because they want to know what it is. They'll just see this thing doing, say, 70 mile an hour flying down the road, but they don't know what it is. All they know, it's like a certain size and it's going certain amount of speed, like, and that's it. So they'll know where it's taken off from and they'll know where it's going to drop. So it's it is quite scary, like it really is.
Yeah, he's got a point there on the screen now, Frederick.
A good point.
You don't need a license or anything in public to film, but as soon as you put on a drone, you need a license. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Who's just came in? Someone just. Hello, Matthew. Cool, nice to see you.
I think it's got a lot to do with. I noticed this when I had my pilot's license and I was flying around a lot. Right, the things you see from the air are nuts. Right, there are houses and mansions tucked away that I never knew were there. Right, and they're like, wow, look at that! It's like fairy tale mansion hidden away, little valley, private road, and a blocked entrance. So, like from about a mile away, you can't get anywhere near it. Yeah, and the thing that's to keep out the chavs or the plebs or whatever, the toffs who live in there. They don't want people down their lane. So the thing is, the ability for somebody like on public land or on a byway to suddenly take off and go zzz and have a look at their little premises, they hate it. And they're the ones that have been pushing more than anyone else. I think it's the rich people and the military. Because you look at how these have been used in the Ukraine, and hats off to everybody. Because, I mean, that shows you how good drones can be, how useful drones can be. Right? Because, look, they've been targeting where the tanks are in Ukraine. They can fly up to them. They can't hit them. They can be firing a machine gun in the air. They won't hit them, you know. Yes. And they can come up and have a look and get away. And those things are invaluable. And that's what the military don't like, is because people like me and other people are looking at what the military are up to and they don't like it. Yeah, because they hide things down lanes and sneak away. Well, and you could be in and out and they don't know who the hell it was, like, you know.
Like me, Claire and Lol, right, and Claire's son, yeah, we went to look at James Corden's mansion, right? And literally, right, we had to park about a mile and a half away and go over about 30, maybe 35 fields we had to cut across. We had to jump over fences. We were going underneath the fence lines, jumping up and down banks. And literally, I managed to get onto the drive. Hey, Colonel, what's happening? So literally, we went there and we were thinking, oh, security's going to jump out any second now. And you know what? There was nothing there when we went. Someone had smashed up all the pool, all the windows. Someone had like broken like loads of the windows going to the place.
I heard a rumor about who'd done that as well.
Well, yeah. Well, I sent you that as well. Like, in fact, I think when you were here, I was telling you about it. And then all of a sudden, I got a video, didn't I, of that person on the lawnmower. Right, so not long after that, and that was literally, I swear down, that was in the middle of nowhere. You would not know it was there unless you were looking for it. But yeah, we had a message, I think it was like early last week, I think it was about this time last week, maybe the week before, and we got told there's security on there now, CCTV have been put up, there's been floodlights put up.
Not surprised if it's been trashed like you say.
It was about £8 million worth of mansion.
I'm surprised it wasn't set on fire if that particular person was there.
Well,
to be perfectly,
now I went there, right? I turned all the electric off. I turned all the water pumps off. You know, because it's really weird.
He turned all that back on. Yeah.
Yeah, and then basically, because it almost started to flood. So I turned it all off. It's all on my video. I went round flicking all the lights off, flicking this off, flicking that off, because I thought this is not good. like, you know, someone's paying for that. Do you know what I mean? And I thought, you know, I'll do a good thing, like, you know, and I'll go there and I'll flick, Joe, like the big water pumps, Joe, for the you know, for the swimming pools and stuff like that. and it was it's a bit scary, like, you know, to realize that we were there 10 days before, and then just to find out, you know, that some idiots has gone there and ruined it. And it's
Yeah.
like, it's not just ruined it now for that person, it's now ruined it for everyone else, because I was going to take Jackie there on the way home, and Steve-O, and we got told to stay well away from there because there was security on there.
Mhm.
So I was a bit gutted that then I couldn't take them there. And literally everyone else that we'd sort of like said, look, you really need to hurry up and get to this place quickly. I had to like message all them and just say, guys, look, you know, you don't
Game
bother
over.
because there's security there now. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, you know, this person's ruined it. And, you know, I know who the person is.
Yeah.
Vault
Don't say any
knows who
names
the
on here.
person
You know what's what.
yeah, and that's it, you know, and I'm leaving it at that. I'm not bringing no names up, but I'm a bit disappointed, mate, if you ask me. Do you know what I mean? Because, like, there's idiots like them that's ruining it for people like myself because it's turning me away from the urbex stuff.
It's not just ruined it for people like us. It's ruined it for the owner as well, because they've got to
Yeah,
pay
of
out
course,
thousands of pounds now as well.
Well, you
Know what I
think
mean?
like, one of those massive pane windows, yeah, that you see on an industrial unit, yeah, one of those massive ones that are about 20 foot, 15 foot by about 10 foot, right? There's about 8 of them that have been smashed. How much is one of them? 4 grand, 5 grand, if not more. Do you know what I mean? And there's about 8 of them that have been smashed, mate. That's ridiculous. I don't care what anyone says. Why, right? In their right minds, would somebody do that?
The reason I think that particular bunch do it is because they some of them are into copper thieving and they're into thieving, right, for a start. So it's like whatever they can get. Then the next thought that comes into their head is, if we trash this, then it'll be there for us when we come back, because nobody will want to come, and this won't be a house anymore, so it'll be ours. So we'll trash it and then it's ours. It doesn't work like that, really.
Yeah, but what they should have done is drilled one of the locks out, put one of their own in, locked it up tight, yeah, and then, do you know what I mean? And then done it that way, shouldn't they?
Yeah, well, let's
Yeah,
not talk
any
about
normal
putting
person-
locks on places to stop damage, because
but,
a certain
I mean, it's
person,
like-
when I tried to lock somewhere up, went back there and ripped it all off, ripped all the locks and everything off. Had a proper little tantrum, a meltdown.
Oh dear.
You know, because I was trying to stop people from ruining and graffitiing in a place. So I said, look, if we go in here now, let's just put a lock on it. Oh, if I did. Oh, if I fucking did. You know, because they wanted it to be their place then, their place, and for them and their mates.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, you know what I mean?
Sometimes it's
Stupid.
yeah, don't give out locations only to people that I trust. Yeah, I know what you mean, but also it helps with the video sometimes. Sometimes you can get away with saying the places. And when I was doing my videos at first, doing the channel, I didn't know whether to say the place names or not to put the place out and stuff like that. Obviously for these reasons. But I've learned it depends on the location, depends on the place and what type of place it is. And if it's accessible and trashed, yeah, you probably put the name out or something like that. But I've put videos out there.
Like anything well known, unless it's really well known, I'll put the name of it. But then if it's absolutely
that place
trash,
you took us,
you know,
that place you took us to, Tommy's. The guy didn't want us to name the place, but everyone knows what it is, and that's another place that I've put out without the name of the location or the place. Know what I mean? But people who know will know what that place is and where it is and respect it. Know what I mean? So there is times and places to put out places and locations of the places and names and stuff like that. But also there's other times where you just got to not put it out. Know what I mean? And like Stockport, air raid shelters, Matt went there and he says, shall I say where it is? I said, I'd rather you not at the moment because not many people know about it. And obviously, once a few videos got out, a lot of people knew about it then, and obviously it didn't really matter. And they bricked it all back up now, so you can't get in anyway. So
That's really weird because I almost
it's
went
around
there the
about,
other
isn't
day.
it? Hey?
I nearly went back there the other day because Brady hadn't been, so I was like, oh, I don't know if. Do you know what I mean? We had a crap day out. Like we tried about, I think it was 8 places, and 8 places with to either gone or. Do you know what I mean? Completely boarded up, mate, and it was serious. Like, so
Someone's asking us about it the other day as well, and I told him no point now. It's be a wasted trip. It's all concreted back up. Yeah.
It's funny that like some of the videos, like maybe myself, Dan Dixon, and you know, like various people, they watch, and then when they see we've gone there, it like they really want to go there, so they do their best to find out where it is. And I think the trick is, if it's somewhere that's been out there for years and forgotten about, and then suddenly one of us goes, oh look, and then we do it, and everybody's kind of forgotten about it because it was an old 5 years old, that's old news, that is. And then we go and do it, and everybody goes, oh look how cool that place is, bang, that place, then that becomes a tour bus for a month or a couple of months, like, and that's why the security get on there, they put cameras back on it and they lock it and all these sorts of things, and then we get the blame for it. We get the blame, but like sometimes we don't even name them, but people know where it is. And I think the trick is, if we stop doing, I'm not saying stop doing places that people know, but if we stop doing the ones that are well known from the past, people haven't got a bloody clue where you're going. If you go to places that they do not know, they're like confounded. They're like it freaks them out. They get very agitated by it because they don't know. They literally do not know where it is. You know, and it's like those are the ones to keep, the ones that nobody's ever been to before, you know, and really keep them tight, like, you know.
See, I'm sitting on about 3 at the minute that I can't bring out because I'm waiting for the go-ahead of certain people, and I can't mention them either because it's not fair on them. So literally now we've had a conversation over the last couple of weeks saying, oh, when are we dropping such and such? About 7 months. 7 months. I was like, oh mate, we're coming up to 7 months now, and it's like, well, you know, we went to one place and it, you know,
I know what you're on about. Yeah.
I think it was bricked up. They literally ripped the whole door out and bricked it up. Like, what the friggin'
yeah, we were told it was open, right, and it had only been open for like 2 days, right, and after we went there, it was completely erased.
It was like we'd never been there.
That comment in the bottom there, maybe put a fake location in. You can do, but I know Exploding Fighters did it once on one of their videos, and basically they're showing a manhole grid out on top of a bridge in Newcastle.
Oh, I know where it is.
Yeah, in Newcastle,
and everyone, the right place, mate, because I went there and checked it, and it wasn't.
And a lot of people slagged them off for it. So, yeah, you can put a fake places in, but people start saying you're a faker then, and stuff like that.
People get pissed off because they've taken the time to go there, you know, and all that. But the thing is, I don't think we should take responsibility for what anyone else is trying to do, because the thing is, if we've put a fake location on there to stop people going there, if people want to go there, we've not told them to go there. We've not said go there. We've literally done it. We've done it to stop people going there. So if they get all pissy, like, I wasted money coming up here, it's like, no, we never wanted you to go there. You know what I mean? That's the whole point.
I was just really lucky, right, that I was already in and around Hull at the time.
Right?
Yeah.
So I didn't go out of my way, not all the way from here, because Hull's about 3.5 hours, nearly 4 hours from me. Because literally I'm on one side of the country and that's at the other end of the country, like, so, you know, I was really lucky.
Yeah,
Brady, you can shut up. Mate, you can shut up because look, there's a big crotch hole here. Look, and it's missing, so you can become the vagin if you want. The
vagine.
You can fill the vagin. Yeah. That's like, you know, that's like Ali Barber.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, you know, if you're going to say anything, if you're gonna say anything, you have to.
Right, before there's any more nudity.
In a minute, I'm gonna fart down this muff.
Camel toe and a half. That,
Right.
Before it gets any worse, I'm going to call it a night now. So,
I was going to say, all right, Will's mum. I'm sorry about the bad language. I'm really sorry.
Yeah. I hope to see you all next week, next Tuesday, 9 o'clock. So, yeah, stay safe till then.
You go in?
See you. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right,
Oh, that means
overstay
Bob has
me,
to go
dudes.
live now.
Yeah, you go live and we'll all jump on.
Yeah.
Hey, Will, have you ever done like an 11-hour live stream in your life?
No, not 11
No.
hour on.
Right. If all of us in here and I just going live stream, and we guilt trip him enough. Live stream. Come on, Jackie. Live stream. Taffy, come on, live stream.
Live stream.
Live stream.
Live stream.
Do the
live stream.
I can do that though. Just mute them. Right. Good night, everyone. Stay safe till next time. See you later. Bye bye.